identity as a football team and what we're continuing to build. One thing we talk about is physicality, and that's was kind of like our identity last year. We really felt like is, we're mean, we're tough, we're nasty, we're physical, and that's kind of was the same message this week. And there's a lot of football clips to show guys being mean, nasty, tough, and physical. So there was a lot of clips at my disposal, and I used one of those.
What'd you pull out?
I'll keep that in. I'll keep that one in house.
Where do things stand with Mulata, Elliott, and Avante? I guess those would be the three most prominent ones.
Yeah. We'll give you guys an injury report later. So we're still talking through some things. Again, I won't say I'll set the precedent. I don't talk about it till after.
Specifically on Elliott that he will not play.
Yeah, no, that's a report, but that's not from us. So we'll continue to monitor, and we'll let you know later today.
When you sign a kicker, when you have to sign an emergency kicker type guy, obviously you can look at his stats, but do you kind of go beyond that and kind of try to figure out, is this guy mentally tough enough in his first NFL game to make a 43, or how do you evaluate all that?
Yeah, I think you go through a very similar process to when you go through with the draft. With as far as toughness, mental toughness, all those different things. So, when he was kicking, we put him through a couple different things that tested and showed that for us. And I know there's a big game this weekend between Oklahoma and Texas, and I know he made a big-time kick in that game, and there's no bigger game. There's one of the bigger games, obviously, in college football. And so, yeah, we were comfortable with that, and, if he's got to play, we're confident in him.
Last year you had Devontae come in and start right away. You had Landon come in and start by the third game. You had Milton, a bunch of guys contributing, playing on offensive defense. This year it's kind of the opposite of that with your rookies. What's your message to them in terms of like waiting their turn and being ready?
Yeah, exactly that you're only one snap away from having a more predominant role. So contribute, know what your role is, and contribute like crazy on special teams. Nakobe made a big play on special teams last week on a kickoff. Cam's doing a great job of just being in Jason's hip. And getting good reps at practice, and that we're gaining more and more confidence on him, and just give us that confidence in practice by going out and working. I think Kyron's done a really nice job of giving us some great special teams reps, and so that the message is know your role, contribute in your role, but also, look to extend your role, right? And how do you do that? By coming to work every day, by grinding every day, by showing us that you can play every single day.
In the event of a turnover on offense, what's your...
Well, geez, Zach.
What's that?
What is it? Are you jinxing us?
No.
Are you going? Okay, I got you. Now I know where you're going.
Approach with offensive players, and I asked because you saw Jordan get hurt. I'm sure you saw that. I'm sure you talked about this quite a bit with Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
What's the coaching?
Let our defense play defense. Let our defense play defense and stop them from getting in the end zone by all means. And so I think I need to do a better job of coaching the tackling of the offensive guys. And for Jordan right there, simple coaching point is get to your back when you dive for dive for a leg. And I didn't do. I said to him, I go, that's my fault. I didn't coach you this way. And he said to me, I've been playing rugby my whole life. I knew that was what I was supposed to do. But still, like, they know they're not supposed to fumble or go out of bounds in 4 minutes. I still am the one that needs to remind them. That's my job as the head coach. That's my job as a coach. And so I needed to do a better job at that. So I'm beating myself up about that, pulling myself through the mud about that. But got to get him down like Aaron. Aaron Sippos got him down in the Minnesota game, and that was a big difference in the game. And so we got to let him get him down, let our defense play defense. And to me, I treat that as like a 4-point play. If you get a turnover in our side of the field, you getting them down potentially just made it a 4-point play. We saved 4 points, and we know in this league that those matter. And so, there was a Super Bowl, I was with Todd Haley at Kansas City, and they showed, and Todd was very emphatic about showing the Super Bowl clip that Todd was the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals when James Harrison returned it 100 yards for a touchdown. And you can see in that clip, there was a couple guys that didn't, the guys were going, right, but maybe they weren't going right away, right? So the point that was made to me my first year in the NFL is like, you got to go right away and get the guy down. Because look what happens here. Like Larry Fitzgerald and Steve Breston tackle him at the 1 yard line and pull him into the end zone, which just so happens the way my son scored a touchdown last week. He caught it, ran for a touchdown, and he got tackled at the 1, but he fell in the end zone. But those guys, you got to go right now. Pull a little plug in for my son. But you got to go right now and get them down and let the defense play defense. In that situation in the Super Bowl, that would have been the end of the half. So that's our coaching point. We do talk a lot about it, but I didn't do a good enough job of coaching Jordan on if he is diving at the leg to get to your back. And like I said, I'm beating myself up about it.
Last one?
Hey, Nick, you're usually on the positive side of the stress off-schedule offense can put on the opposing defense. This week, you kind of get it from both ends of the spectrum. How much does it help your defense to work against Jalen when it comes to?
I think big time. Yeah, I think that the fact that they've had to handle Jalen all training camp and all OTAs it makes it a big difference. At least it's not their first time doing it. When I was a college coach and I was coaching defense, at Mount Union, we played somebody and they were running I think we were playing I can't remember who it was, but they were running triple option. And we're like, we've never seen this before. So you sat there we sat there. I remember the week so vividly. We sat there all week and all right, what if this happens? Okay, well then what if this happens? And then when we're putting ourselves through those scenarios of all these different things that you can see in the triple option. I think it was Augustana. Maybe it was Augustana that you had to do against Augustana. And we try to put ourselves in that scenario as much as we can because we didn't see it. Well, my point is our defense has had to do that, and it has had to do that in practice a lot. Now they don't get to hit Jalen, right? And we're going to be able to, and we're going to have to go out there and tackle him live. But he's a really good player. Kyler's a really good player. He can make plays with his arm. He can make plays with his feet. Very dynamic playmaker, and we're gonna have to be on it to make sure we're doing the things to contain him. But it definitely, in my opinion, and to answer your question, it definitely helps the fact that this isn't their first rodeo with it. But what's different about it is that now you got to tackle them. So to answer your question.
All right, on that note, Zach?